30. Okay, so we'll do a nice little warm up here where you're nice and long through your spine, core tight. Just give me some nice strong bridges through the hips there. I'm gonna press nice and even through my feet, all the way to my heels. Squeeze those glutes, bridging up. Get a nice contraction of the glutes. Per repetition, try to extend your hips more. And see if you can really kind of get them into it. There we go. Like we're thinking one line from your knee to your shoulders there. And get a good contraction in your glutes. Try one more. Okie dokie. Let's try just some nice strict leg raises where we're squeezing that quad. We're keeping our legs super strict, flexing our heel towards, or flexing our toes towards our base, driving through the heel. Just feeling a nice little hamstring stretch there. Keep the lower back and glute on the ground. Exhale as you bring it up. Keeping the leg as strict as possible. So my leg is as straight as possibly can be. So I see some bend in that knee. Drive through your heel and squeeze the top of your thigh. And as high as it goes while it stays straight is as high as it goes.
Okay.
Otherwise, you're not getting it. Yeah, that's good, though. Then that's what it is for now.
Tight.
Yeah. I did a leg workout today and I just felt that one for sure. So
Woo.
There we go. Squeezing the quad. Exhale as you bring it up. Let's try 5 more, and then you can swap legs and go right into keeping that leg nice and strict. Good. Let's swap. Good. You can change legs now.
I did.
Oh, you did? Sorry.
Yeah.
I can't really. I only can see like half of you.
That's it.
All righty. Nice job. Let's go into that seated position for 90-90. Yeah. If you can center yourself a little bit more, that'd be great. Good.
That's better.
Right.
Better.
There we go. Now remember, I want you to be long through that spine. Right? Like somebody's pulling you up from here, and then kind of open the chest so you pull your shoulder blades down a little bit. Right. And you're thinking about pulling your right shoulder down to your left knee. Right. And keep that mid back, upper back nice and straight. Exhale as you pull down. There you go. Try to feel in that little pocket, little lower back pocket.
Yep.
Two more. Beautiful. All right, just swap legs now. Let's get that foot a little bit away from you. So your right foot move up a little bit more so it's even with your knee. Yeah, good. Now work your right knee towards your dresser a little bit. Yep, good. Okay, that's a little bit more of the position there. Good. How's the weather over there? Is it super cold?
So cold.
Negative?
I had so many layers on. I had long johns, a sweater.
You're not in Maryland. Where are you?
New York.
Jersey?
New York.
New York?
Yeah.
You got walloped by some snow too, right?
We did over the weekend. We got like a foot. Then it rained. Then it went away. Then we got about 4 inches.
Nice job. All right, let's get that light bell, very light bell. We're going to try some halos here. So I'm going to take the bell and invert it. So the bottom portion is facing the ceiling. And I'm going to remain very tall through my body. I usually squeeze my glutes here a little bit. I'm going to move it to the side and start to make the circle, the halo, around my head. Now, when I'm here, the bottom of the bell is facing the ground. And it's basically even with my neck. Can you open up your elbows? Right. Now think with your left arm, pull it through. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if I did that right, but
Okay. Just don't Notice how I only move the kettlebell? I don't move my head or my body, I'm just moving the bell. I'm gonna inhale, exhale. That one is your best one. Keep that going. Breathe out. There we go. Now let's reverse the direction. Go the opposite way. Try not to move your body. Try to keep your body stationary.
Okay.
Righty. Good job. All right, nice work. Okay, get your heaviest bell because I want to see some kettlebell deadlift.
Can you see?
I sure can. So deadlift, not swing. I want to see deadlift first. So you want to be, yeah. So when you do, that was a nice hinge, but when you do your deadlift, you want to be over the bell, not have the bell out in front of you.
Okay.
Okay, but that was a nice hinge. I like that. Squeeze. There we go. Little less knee bend, more hips back. Right. Core tight. There we go. Stand up all the way. Nice. Beautiful. Park your bell. Okay, good. Go on your back. Okay, do you remember the dead bug?
This.
No, not that part. This is the core exercise. So let go of your kettlebell, reach both hands to the ceiling. Good. Lift your feet and bend your legs 90 degrees. Now lift your feet off the ground.
Both?
Correct. Right. Now bend your legs 90 degrees. Right there. Good. Now press your lower back into the floor. Get your core tight. Okay, good. Now drop your right arm and left leg, but don't let them touch the ground.
Right arm, left leg.
Yeah, right arm goes behind you. Right. Now keep your core tight. Lower back should be in contact with the ground. Now bring them back. Then keep that tension and give me 9 more. Inhale, squeeze your abs, pull. There we go. I'm thinking if I had a towel underneath your lower back, I would not be able to slide it out. One more, and you're going to swap sides and do left arm, right leg. Just turning on your core a little bit. Left arm, right leg. Left arm, right leg. There we go. Happens all the time. Two more. Nice. Now flip over and go to the top of a push-up position. What I want you to do is to focus on squeezing your triceps super duper hard. All right, so lift your hips off the ground a little more, get to a nice strong plank, knees off the ground. Good. Now, if I was taking my fist on your mid-back, push your mid-back up to the ceiling. Right there. Good. Squeeze your triceps and think about your elbow pits, rotate them to the door. Squeeze your triceps and rotate, nope, the opposite way. Screw drive into the floor there. Good. And squeeze your armpits for 10, 9, 8. Push the earth away. 6. Core is tight. 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Shake it loose. And now you're back on your feet. No, you can stand up now.
Oh.
Okay, shake it off. Let's go back to the kettlebell. Take a couple deep breaths. All right. Now, give me some nice, strong, explosive deadlift. Stand up nice and strong and fierce, okay? You got a nice hinge. Let's keep it that way. Shins are vertical. Explode through those hips, something fierce, okay? Turn on, hit the gas when you stand up.
Okay.
Good. No shrugging. Squeeze your armpits. Better. Drive through those hips. Nice. Now we're talking. These last two were really good. And nice job. Good. That was nice. Now, if you can make your swing look like that, now we're talking.
Okay.
Let's lay flat on your back. Give me 10 and 10 on those dead bugs. Really emphasize feeling your midsection tight, lower back in contact with the ground. Think about your rib cage and your belly button getting closer to each other. And squeeze harder when you bring them back. There we go. Inhale, squeeze. Nice. Swap sides. There we go. Trust me, I do it myself all the time. But essentially, this is your gait. This is your walking motion. You do contralateral motion when you walk. All right, good job. Now flip over and give me that nice strong plank where you're kind of screw driving your hand into the floor so your elbow pits are facing that door. Good. Now, if I have my fist between your shoulders, push your shoulder blades up to the ceiling. Up. Yes, right there. Hold it. Squeeze your armpits. Good. 10, 9, 8. Hold it up there. If I were to sit on you like a park bench, you'd be able to hold me up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job. Relax. Nice little shake off there. Good. Now get your swing bell. Because that's what, a 20 kilo? 44 pounds, or is that a 16 pound, 35 pound kettlebell?
I have an 18 pound, or I have this one, which is a 28 pound.
28 pound? Okay, that's the 12 then. Okay, so sometimes the colors are different and that throws me off. So now I want you to swing with that bell.
The 28?
The 28 pounder, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I always go by kilos.
I don't even know what a kilo, I can't equate kilos. 12 kilos.
Yeah, so 12, it's 2.2.
Okay.
Okay, so let me see. Now you just did a really, really nice deadlift. So now all you gotta do is think about that leg bell swinging between your legs and doing the same exact motion you just did, because it was really nice.
Okay.
Kind of lean back and settle in and pop, pop. Nice. 9, 10. All right. Okay. Your hips moving really nice. I want you to, okay, so like you're going to do like a lot of swings, right? And when you get to high volume, you get tired. So you have to capitalize on rest as much as possible. Now, obviously, you're going to have rest in between your sets. Like every minute, it takes about 20 seconds to get 10 swings, and then about 40 seconds to rest. So there's your rest. But in the actual swing, there's a built-in rest. Okay? And you want to get that. So your move here is really nice. You're getting this. Bam. But then you're here, and before the bell before your arms make contact with you again, you're already going back. So you're like this. You're never really letting the bell do what we call the float.
Okay.
So watch the float where I'm resting versus.
Okay. I see it.
And then I get stiff. on number 2, which causes fatigue,
Okay,
especially the shoulders. Like
Okay.
your butt, your hamstrings, and your lungs should get tired in the swing, not
Okay.
your shoulders. So
Okay.
letting that bell float, I mean, don't do this, but look at it. See how I can let it go because it's floating.
okay,
Okay, so savor that rest at the top. You wait until your elbows make contact with your ribs before you go back into your hinge again.
okay,
And tilt that bell towards you and kind of settle in your hips and hamstrings there. Yes. Squeeze your armpits down. Good. Now you're ready to rock and roll. Snap. Wait for it. Snap. Little more patient. Even a little more patient. Two, one, relax. Better. So that is a thing of timing, which will come with practice. But you
okay,
have to be intentional. If I got better, we're going to make it better too again. And then the trajectory of the bell. I don't want it like this. I want it more like this. So
Okay.
the handle of the kettlebell cannot go below my knees.
okay,
I'm basically getting my forearms to kind of get into the creases of my hips. The bell, this part, that's the bell. Obviously the handle, and then these side handles are called horns. I don't want the handle to go below my knees. So I don't want this here. I want it here. Okay. The bell can go below my knees, but I don't want the handle to go below my knees.
okay,
Does that make sense?
yep,
So like get a little up and close and personal with yourself and those forearms. Let your
Yep.
forearms make contact with the creases of your hips.
okay,
And savor the float. Begin. Better. Be a little more patient on that backswing. Wait for those arms. And relax. Okay, that was definitely your best set.
okay,
Okay. Now remember, I mean, you're essentially shooting a projectile, right? If you were to let go of that, that bell would go flying onto your bed.
yeah,
So sometimes that causes that woo, because I'm pulling it back. I really am. But I don't want to pull back here. I want to pull with this. So when I
Okay.
grab that handle, remember, I'm going to crack the handle. When I crack the handle, watch my shoulders. See how they went down?
yeah,
That's going to activate my lats. And now my lats are resisting versus my traps. Because then that's just going to get me all like this. So when
Okay.
I grab that handle, crack the handle, and you'll feel those armpits turn on. And that's going to carry into when we start doing a little bit of those roll-ups, okay?
Yeah.
You're getting better at waiting for the bell. But I mean, it's almost impossible to wait too long because if I let my arms hit me and I don't move, then the swing is dead.
right,
So I can wait, boom, and then hinge. Like I
Okay.
said, that will come with practice, but you have to be intentional about trying to time it better. Okay?
Okay.
All right, so
Okay.
when you grab this sucker, you're going to grab it, you're going to crack the handles. You want you to feel your armpit muscles turn on. Lean back into your hips and hamstrings. Tilt the bell towards you. Hands a little closer together. Yes. Good. The bell could probably be actually a little bit of ways from you. Right. Now, squeeze your lats and sink into your hips. That's a better ready position. Squeeze
Okay.
your armpits and snap those hips something fierce and work on that timing. Come on, snap it. Power. 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 There we go. Relax. Those last 3 are what I'm looking for.
Okay, I felt it.
And notice when you got the float, right?
I did.
It's
Yeah.
not like the thud of a hammer. It's like the crack of a whip in terms of this snappiness of the hips.
Yeah, the momentum. Yep.
Right. I gotta snap it like a punch. Right.
Yep.
Think about it like that. Shake it off a little bit. I'm gonna give you one more set there. Try to make them the last 3 that you just did. Okay.
Okay.
Last 3 were really nice. Snap. Snap. And wait for those arms. There we go. 2 more. Relax. Okay. Now we're talking. And we can polish that more and more and more. I've been doing it for 14 years. And I still work on a couple of things when I'm doing. I did some today. I was like, man, I'm really not bracing my abs. I can feel it. So I've made like 5 sets where I'm like, think about your abs, think about your abs, think about your abs. And that's how you need to approach it when you do your practice. Remember, I don't want you thinking, let me just get through the work. Like that's like boot camp mentality.
Yeah.
The mentality you want to have is that I'm going to make this as perfecto as possible, which means I'm going to get more output out of it, which means I'm going to get a better result, conditioning, muscles, losing body fat. The less efficient I am at the exercise, the more I increase strain, risk for strain, and then I'm not going to get the desired result I want in terms of, the change. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
be super duper intentional about every set that you do. Okay. And that will
Okay.
come. Okay.
Okay.
So we did swings. And now watch me first, just for a little reminder. And I'm going to do it without weight first. And if you start thinking about like how, swings, get-ups, push-ups, squats, those are all different exercises. But if you hold true to about 3 major principles of all those exercises, you're going to have success faster. And the major cues are a tight midsection, using your hips and your glutes, and keeping your shoulder packed, which is what we just talked about, depressing that shoulder. The more I do that on pretty much every exercise, the better I'm going to be at all those exercises. Okay? Because I'm using my glutes, which are big, strong muscles. I'm using my midsection, which obviously, is at least 30% of my body. And then I'm using my lats, which are gigantic muscles too. So I'm using big muscles to do the job, and all the other muscles are just helping. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So for the roll up, if I'm gonna roll to you, when you do these, I want you to think that you're rolling to the camera so I can see you, okay?
Okay.
So whenever knee is bent is where my imaginary kettlebell is. Now, like you were talking about, if I have a weight and it's like, you see how my arm is basically perpendicular to the ground,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna have a lot of stability there. Why? Because even at perpendicular, I'm basically shrugging my shoulder. See, it's pretty much straight up and down.
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I want to actually aim it slightly more towards my hip. So you see a little bit of an angle in my arm there.
Yeah.
That's going to put the bone in the socket. So I can feel my armpit firing right now. My lat is clenching. Okay?
Yeah.
That's arm position. Now, most people want to do a sit-up. That's incorrect. That means you're using your neck and your abs. Not super duper efficient to be using your neck. But I can use my hip. So I'm going to push through that floor. And that extends this hip. So my glute is off the ground and squeezing. This one's on the ground. But when I push through the floor, I'm tight like I am here. So my core is tight. I learned how to keep it in place. Same thing here. If I'm all loosey-goosey, I'm going to go, and it's going to be hard for me to get up. But if I brace my abs really tight, I lock my body and I move as one piece. So I'm going to go, nice and tight abs, push through the floor. Now I'm pushing through here, core is tight, and the last part is the pulling. So this arm runs parallel to this leg. And I form this little corridor between my leg and my arm. I basically want to walk down that corridor. I want to roll down that corridor to my elbow. So it's like I said, instead of flexing your spine and doing a sit-up, think roll towards that corridor between my elbow and my leg. Give you a little better view. Don't fall on me. There we go. See these arms? This is running parallel. I'm going to push through that foot. As I push, I simultaneously use the ground and pull to my elbow. So I'm literally pulling myself as if I was doing this, as if I was doing that. Okay? When I roll to my elbow, I don't want to roll to my ribs and then try to push myself up. That's harder. I want to basically immediately create space between my ribs and the ground. See that? Versus, see the difference?
Big difference.
Big difference. That was like, even with no weight, that's harder.
Mhm.
Open chest. The bell is still kind of aimed towards my hip, which means it's not over here dangling. Then this arm is down, I extend. Now you can see my shoulder is kind of collapsing in. So what do? I rotate my hand. I say squish the bug. You got a little bug, you're gonna squish it. Now see how my arm is fully extended?
Mhm.
My shoulders are back and I'm in tall sit. So I have structure here. My hand is pushing through the floor and my tricep is squeezing. That squeezes this muscle here. I'm holding myself up with one leg of my table. My other leg of my table is my leg with the heel on the floor. My tripod is this foot. So I have structure here because eventually I'm going to lift myself to do the get up. But right now you're not doing that. But if I'm like this, I don't have any structure. Okay.
Right.
And then all we're going to do is get to this position. And then all I need to do is rewind the tape. So what do? I unsquish my bug. I pull down to my elbow because I pulled myself up. Now I pull myself down. I go under control. I use strength to get down versus I pull myself down using strength. And then I roll to my shoulder and then I roll to my starting shoulder. So I'm going to have you try to do 3 in a row with body weight like this. 1, find position. 2. Abs tight. 1, 2. Coming down. And then I do it one more time.
Okay.
And then just, if you could back up towards the dresser wall a little bit. Uh-huh. Move that doggy bed over. Beautiful. Okay. So roll towards me. So right heel nice and close to your butt cheek. That's your left heel, dear. Give me your right heel. Good. Okay, now I want you to raise your left leg at about a 45-degree angle from your spine. So bring your foot over. Yes. If you cramp in your hip, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay, but that's not going to be the hand that's to the ceiling. It's going to be the opposite hand. Right. So now your arm and your leg are basically running parallel to each other. You could probably drop your left hand towards your hip a little bit more. Left hand towards your hip. Yeah, right about there. Good. Now make your tummy tight like you were doing on those dead butt exercises that we warmed up with. I like to give myself a little bit of a punch, but that's just me. Now I want you to push through that heel and pull to your elbow and roll up to your elbow by rolling towards the camera. Good. Now make the biggest chest you've ever made. Good. Now push your elbow firm into the floor, like you're pushing away from the floor. Good. See, now you feel like you have like some integrity, some strength. Okay. Now brace your abs and lift your elbow off the floor. Good. Now squish the bug and open your shoulder blades. open them. Pinch your shoulder blades together. Pull that left shoulder back. Good. Right about there. Open your chest and put the bell over your head. Your imaginary bell, put it over your head. Good. Okay, now rewind the tape. Unsquish the bug. Pull your elbow in and down and roll smooth to your left shoulder, then your right shoulder. Very nice. Brace your abs. Give me 2 more just like that. Keep your eyes on your imaginary kettlebell. Nice. I think your hand's just a little bit far away from you. So bring your foot up more, your left foot up more, and your right hand down, or your left hand down more. Yeah. And then try to keep your hand in the same position all the time. Your left hand, try to keep it there the whole time. Roll up. Good. Now I do want some segmentation on that move. It's first elbow, 2, 3, hand, 2, 3, and then you'll move into the next part. 1, 2. Good job. Relax. Do you have a flat-soled shoe or a yoga block close?
A flat-soled shoe.
Grab your flat-soled shoe. I'm not gonna get mine. Yeah, I use my wife's slipper. So how do I know if I'm yeah, you're not gonna put them on. You're not putting them on. How do I know if I'm keeping good stability and if I know where the bell is? I'm gonna put a shoe on my flat fist, and that's gonna force me to look at that imaginary kettlebell and move it so that it doesn't fall down.
Okay.
Okay? So I make a fist and I balance it on my fist. So that keeps my wrist straight. Now rotate your fist clockwise a little bit. Good. Now aim your fist towards your right hip a little bit. Right hip. No, not behind you, to your hip. So aim it towards your waist. Good. Now squeeze your armpit fierce. You feel how your lats turn on?
Yeah.
Okay, now keep your eyes on your shoe. You don't want it to drop on your face, and roll up and give me 3 of those. Keep your elbow locked. Right elbow lock. That's your left elbow. Now give me your right elbow. Good. Now come down smooth and don't let that bell fall, that imaginary kettlebell fall down. Core tight. Good. Now we're talking. No shrugging of the shoulders when you roll up on that left side. Don't let your shoulders shrug. Squeeze your armpit on your left side and roll up. No shrugging. Just a little shoulder shrug. That was just a little one. Open your chest big. Big chest. Pinch your shoulder blades together. Good. Squeeze your left tricep and push firm through your left hand. Good. Now you have structure. Now roll down. Core tight. Use your core to slow yourself down like that. Very nice. Now roll up just like that with no shrugging. Right elbow strict. Lock out your right elbow. Good. Core tight, roll. So the first thing I saw was your head move, but that's okay. We'll get it. Big chest. Good. Now come down smooth. Look at that. Concentration. Okay, beautiful. So now shake it off. And now go get your light kettlebell and literally just do the same exact thing, because that was pretty darn good. Yeah, go to your side. Okay, see, I like this. That's good etiquette right there. Nice job. So do everything you were just doing. Good. Core tight. Use your core to like slow yourself down. Good. Right elbow lock. Nice. Good. Right elbow lock. One more. There you go. So now you're stabilizing it, and you got to find out where you put. Now you want to go a little more overhead here now, more overhead. Right. See, now it feels more secure, right?
Yep.
You got to move it around a little bit to find where it feels the most secure. You can come down. I see you a little struggle bus right there. That's okay. Now bring it to your chest. I thought you said that these were hard for you.
They are hard.
That looked like that looks pretty damn good. That was nice.
All right.
Okay, so now spin around, put your head over here and your feet over here, and let me see the opposite side. Yeah, that was really nice. Couple pointers. Remember,
Okay.
well, you just did your right side. I want you to do your left side, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you just did that side, correct? Yeah, I think
How am I
you.
gonna face you?
Pardon?
How am I gonna face you?
Well, you can. That position's okay. I can see your whole body
Oh,
basically.
I'm gonna keep it in this side. Yeah.
Right, you want on that side though. Okay, so a couple pointers.
Okay.
Don't lift your head first. Drive through your hip first.
Drive the hip. Okay.
Okay. When you pull, watch my shoulder. When you pull, don't shrug. Anti-shrug. Pull from your armpit. I'm using the ground as a tool. Like if I were pulling a dumbbell, I'm pulling the ground to get me up. And I can't do that if I'm shrugging.
Okay.
Okay. So drive through your foot and your hip. Like literally push through the heel of that bent leg. And I shouldn't see any shrug. Now your right arm could probably be closer to your hip. Right hand closer to your hip. Good. Now work your left knuckles to the ceiling for a straight wrist, like as if you were balancing your shoe. Now you got it. Okay. Cool. Good. And what are you looking at?
Oh, sorry.
There you go. Open your chest. Good. Pull your right shoulder blade backwards.
Right.
That's your left shoulder blade. Yeah, right shoulder blade. Good. Now lock out your elbow. Good. Spot your bell. Look at your bell. Now come down to your right elbow and come down nice and smooth. Use your core. Atta girl. Okay, cool. Give me two more just like that. Brace those abs. Push to the foot. Slow down just a little. I want you to own every position.
Okay. I'm trying to think about this hip, but I don't know, maybe I'm overthinking it.
Imagine if I had a towel underneath your foot and you're about to do the move. Would I be able to pull the towel from underneath your foot?
Yes. Hold on. Okay.
Like, look how much more powerful that was.
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Good job. And relax. Yeah, and I say that cue because that's what I literally do to people. I'll take like a towel from the gym and I'll put it underneath their heel. And if they're not driving, it will move. But if they are driving, it doesn't move.
Right. Okay.
So think about like, we have internal cues that like, ooh, I feel that there. And then obviously there's tactile external cues.
Yeah.
So I need to think about what can I resonate with an idea in my head that if I had an external tool would cue me, right? And that's one of them that works really well. Same thing with the dead bug. If I had a towel, would I be able to slide it from underneath you? Like you can think about that abstract and apply it pretty easy. Like overall, that's pretty damn good. Okay. So don't be too discouraged. Quite honestly, I was expecting a little bit of a shit show, but that was actually really nice.
Okay, good.
But
All right.
that being said, like the next part is the hardest. Do you have some time?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll go to like 3:45-ish. So the leg sweep is the next part. And
Yeah.
in reality, all you're doing is adding a layer. You're not learning a new move. So you know this now. This
Yep.
is where this position of the shoulder is very important. If I let this guy collapse in, the bone once again is out of the socket. So when I say pull your shoulder blade back, I mean this. See that? Dumping, open. Dumping the shoulder, opening the shoulder. So I just pull my chest open.
Okay.
Okay. So now when I'm here, heel to heel. Okay. Heel to heel. That now I have my foot on the ground, this foot on the ground, and my hand on the ground, and that's going to cause me to lift. Okay. When I lift, I'm going to sweep my leg. So you're hearing me say sweep. The knee of the long leg is going to go underneath my hip. Okay, so you see how my knee is directly underneath my hip. And if you look at a profile, see how my wrist of my bottom hand, my knee, and my ankle are in one line. You see that on the ground? Ankle, knee, wrist. Like you could probably not really see my thigh because my forearm's covering it.
Exactly. Yep.
And there's one line from my top hand, which is where the kettlebell will be, to my shoulder, correct?
Yep.
Versus that.
Yep.
So, open, chest, planted hand, heel to heel. Knee under hip. And this is where mobility comes into play. This will challenge your hips. So now I'm here, and if you notice, see how the bell is angled towards my hip versus here? It'd be unstable here. So I pull my lat down, and look how straight my spine got. See? Straight spine versus watch. This is like bowing out. But now I'm engaged. Now I have a straight spine. Now I hinge, not pick up. Hinge. See that?
Yeah.
So I bring my butt to my heel basically. And I slide up. Now that's a lot of extra steps. So why don't we do one at a time? Just without the weight, come here. Or actually grab your shoe and put it right here. It's going to force you to look at it. Okay? So your hand's a little bit too far behind you. It should basically be even with your hip. And let's get your left leg out at a big angle. Left leg. Yeah. Okay, open your chest big. Lock out your elbow. And you're making a fist and it's balancing on your fist, correct?
Yep.
Okay, now bring your heel to your heel. Good. Back to extend. And one more. Okay, now push through planted foot, push through planted hand, lift butt. Swing knee underneath, look at your kettlebell. Good, now make a big chest. Good. Now get your knee just a little further towards the wall. Right, good. Now make a big open chest and straighten your spine. Look at your kettlebell. Good. Now I just want you to go butt to heel and back. Butt to heel and back. That's when I say hinge. That's what I want, okay? Good. Now, take your long leg, your left leg, kick out. And now drop smoothly to your butt. Open your chest. Reestablish a better position. Get strong. Now, you don't want to move your hand too far back. You want to open your chest. Your hand should basically be even with your hip, not behind you too much. Good. Now, big chest. Good. Lock out that left elbow or your right elbow, or both of them, really. Heel to heel. Knee sweep underneath hip. Look at your kettlebell. Look at your bell. Now hinge. Bring your butt to your heel. Now slide your left hand to your knee and come to this like kneeling position. Now drive through your hips. Beautiful. Now you're in a true overhead position. Now swing your leg into a lunge position. Good. Now look forward. Put your opposite arm out to the side. Let's make a fist. Brace your abs. Step up and forward. Beautiful. Get into a true overhead position. So I want to bring that kettlebell just a little further back to the side. Okay. Now I step back with the same side leg that I can slap. So I step back with the same side leg that I can slap. And now all we're doing is reversing the video. Rotate. Now rotate your spine, left shoulder forward. Take your hand and chop into your hip and hinge, thinking about bringing your butt to your heel. Slide your hand on your thigh and put it in front of your knee. Big open chest. Kick your leg out. Sit gently on your butt. Look at your fake kettlebell. Bring your elbow down and roll to your back. And you just did your first get up. Yay! Relax. Beautiful. That was probably fatiguing just holding the shoe up.
Yeah. That was a lot of work with just a shoe.
So here, heel to heel. When I sweep, I'll give you like the FAQ. When I sweep, this is where most people get messed up. They go boop and they stop short. So they end up with their knee over here versus underneath their hip. Right. So imagine this. If I went up to this wall and you went up to your wall and I was in my tall sit position and I brought my heel to my heel and I swept my leg, my hand, my wrist, my knee and my ankle would all be next to the floorboard.
Yeah.
They'd all be touching the wall and my upper back would be touching the wall because we're all in one line. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So when you sweep your leg, actually that's a good drill. Why don't you back up and go to your wall there? And I want you to sweep your knee until it touches the floorboard. Put your hand right next to the floorboard. Right? Bend your left knee. Good. Open your chest nice and tall and sweep your leg through. And your ankle, knee, and wrist should be touching the ground or the floorboard. Good. Okay, that's where you want to sweep your leg to. So why don't I see it on the other side with the shoe? And now you don't have to look at me. So look at your kettlebell. Do the full thing. You can get off the wall, dear.
Oh, I don't have to be on the wall. Okay.
Yeah, just do the full thing. Like you just did on when you were doing with your shoe. So lay flat on your back, load your left hand, and do your get up. So, but I want you to make it, yeah, there you go. Make a fist and balance it. Make a box with your hand. You're just bending your fingers. Make a fist. Like this. Yeah. And then rotate your fist clockwise. No, counterclockwise. Yes, there we go. Nope, you had it right. Twist it right there. Now aim that fake kettlebell towards your hips so you can feel your armpit turn on. Yes, now your shoulder's packed. Okay, let's go. Don't try to do it too fast. Take your time. You gotta reposition your kettlebell. So get your hand further back. Wait. Put your hand on the floor. Now rotate your spine more. Get your hand over your shoulder. Right. Because if that's a 30-pound kettlebell, that guy's gonna fall down.
Yeah.
Now drive through your hips and lift your right hand off the floor and go into that kneeling position. So drive your hips and lift your hand off the ground.
And lift my hand off the ground.
Correct. Good. Now you're going to rotate your left leg so you're in a lunge position facing your window.
So rotate your left leg, swing it around, so you're facing that window over there. Yep, yep, get into a lunge position with that left foot. Put your left foot in front of your right knee. Right. Now get to a true overhead position. Put the bell right over your head. Right. Now step up with intention. Off the back toe, through the front foot. Lock out your left elbow, put it straight overhead. Now take a step back with that right leg and gently touch the ground. Now rotate that shin. Now rotate your right shoulder forward as well. Push, chop into your hip and hinge your hip to your heel and put your hand in front of your knee. Good. Now don't rest on your butt. Get your butt off your heel because you got to sweep your leg, right? You don't want to be sitting on it. So right hand's on the ground, but don't sit on your butt. Now kick your, no. The bottom leg is what kicks through.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. See what I'm saying? Like if I'm here and I'm coming down and I sit, I can't get my leg out.
yeah.
Get into true, good. Kick that leg out. And come down smooth, right? Yeah. So one thing about trying, you want to keep that left leg bent, just like you're doing on those roll-ups. There you go, and relax. So couple notes. Number one,
That's complicated. That was a lot of steps.
it's like 6 steps and then you reverse it.
But yeah, it felt like 40.
So a couple of things. I say own the position before you transition. Because
Yeah.
once again, you're going to be holding weight. And ideally, you want to think about every kettlebell and every exercise that you do, that kettlebell is 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And so you have to respect it. So when I come to my elbow, okay, I'm good, lift. Okay, I'm good, sweep. Okay, hinge, drive. Take time,
Yeah.
right? And I'm going to be stronger here with full hip extension than I would be if I'm like, oh, I'm falling, right? I want to find good positions, and that's where you can kind of open up your hips and get some mobility out of it.
Yeah.
Once you get over the learning part, you'll start getting to the practicing part. And that's when you start being nuanced about things. Okay, so you're still learning, and then you'll go into practicing. Okay. Yeah. Watch this foot, okay? Tell me how many times it moves. How many times did it move?
Twice.
Right. Basically doing the same thing in reverse though.
Yeah.
And the only reason it moves is because I've learned that when you grind your bottom knee into the ground, it freaking hurts and you get like blisters that last forever. Should have let me know that about 8 years ago. But another way to do the get up is this. Watch this foot again. So I didn't even need to move that foot.
Yeah.
The way I learned it was this, grinding your knee into the ground, which I think it hurts after a while, especially on wood or harder surfaces, if you don't have a jujitsu mat to do it on. Otherwise, the foot doesn't move.
Yeah.
So if you ever get confused, you know that your bent knee is not moving at all.
Yeah.
That foot's not going to move. It's all this guy. Okay, so that would get rid of some of the confusion.
Okay.
So why don't we try one more?
Okay.
Keep your eyes on your bell. Or even just use the shoe for now. I don't care. It will come. Okay. Now there's something just not quite right here. What is it? correct, but what do you gotta do? You guys, yeah, there we go. There we go.
So this is the foot that's not going to move.
Not until you go into that lunge position, correct.
My right foot is not going to move.
Nope, not until you go into your lunge,
Right. It'll move in the lunge and then back, and that's it.
correct.
Okay. And then from here, I'm
Heel to
going-
heel,
yep.
lift body, bring knee underneath hip in alignment with wrist. Good. Now find your position. Own that position. You can now if you need to get a little bit more comfortable, like your foot slid out away from you, so you got to bring it a little bit closer. Yeah, now you can move your foot. Bring your right foot closer to you and bend your right knee closer to you. Flat-footed. And now hinge your, yes. Now hinge. Bring your butt to your heel and then drive up and extend your hips. Lift your
Drive
left hand off the floor. You're here. Lift.
Oh, yeah.
Flat foot. Flat foot. Okay, now don't move because you rotated your bottom leg, and that's okay. But now go onto your back toe and
Back
push off
toe.
that back toe and off your front foot. Get up there. That's okay. Lock out your elbow. Come to feet next to each other or shoulder width apart. A little wider. Step back with the left leg. Drop softly to your knee. Then you can rotate your right foot or your bottom leg, but not both. All right. Now rotate your left shoulder forward. Correct. Now chop into your hip and slide your hand down your thigh and put it on the ground. But don't sit on your butt. Get your hand a little bit away from your knee. Right. Lock out your elbow. Now sweep your left leg out and kick it out towards me. Now drop to your butt. And now you know this position.
Whoops.
And then you come down. Whoop. All right. And relax. Okay, good. Nice job. Shake it off a little bit. So, once again, overall, motor, you have the gross pattern, right?
Mhm.
This is going to be about refinement again. Okay. So, as I drop the things in your calendar here, I want you to think about it like that. I want you to think about, like, okay, even if I don't have the full get up with a weight, or maybe what I'm going to probably end up doing is dropping in the one you have now, which is roll ups and some swings, and then ones with some get ups. Just do it with a shoe, do it with no shoe, and then eventually we're going to add weight because we're going to be checking in again. So just practice the gross motions, meaning I just really know where I need to put my foot and my knee and put my hand. I just got to know how far away from my body and in what position I need to put those limbs, and I'm going to get it. Like, you have the gross pattern. Once again, it's just about refinement. Okay.
Okay.
And
Okay.
the easiest way to think about it is, like, where am I going to sweep my leg? Where's my hand on the ground going to be? Where am I going to sweep my knee to? Like, once I figure that out, I'm all good. And then I can start scaling in strength. So remember, there's learning, there's practicing, and then there's testing. Your
Okay.
testing is quite a ways away. So just focus on learning and shining it up and making it look pretty. Remember, for you to make this look like you own it is that you need to make the difficult look easy, right? That's what
Yeah.
that's what people get impressed by, making hard things look like they've been doing it, upside down, blindfolded.
Right.
So that will come. I have the utmost confidence. So I'm going to drop this video into your
Okay.
calendar, and I'll give you some workouts there. And then I really want you to kind of own this. So maybe we'll meet up for like one more where we just kind of put some finishing touches on it. Okay.
That'd be
So
great.
I'll message you on a day. I know Tuesday I'm out, but maybe I'll meet you on Monday or Wednesday or something. Give you some time to practice it for a couple of days. Okay.
Awesome.
But
Awesome.
overall, you're killing it. Just practice, right? And like I said, when you have the workout, don't think of like, like the boot camp mentality. I'm going to beat myself and get tired and repetitions and sweat. Think about, let me make this as good as I possibly can. And then all the typical fitness stuff will come. Better endurance, changing a body composition, stronger, flexible, all that stuff will come if I just focus on the quality of my technique and developing the quality of my technique. Now, I can only focus on a couple of things at once, maybe even just one thing. If you're like me, I have limited bandwidth on what I can say focus on. So per set, I'm focusing on one thing. Maybe it's my breathing, maybe it's my hip snap, maybe it's my bracing of the core on the swings. And then when I'm doing the rep of my get up, I'm like, okay, I'm going to really just emphasize and focus on driving through my foot and my hip for all my reps. That's all I'm going to do is focus on that. And then eventually you won't have to think about it. And then what? Now I can layer something else on it. I can learn how to pull more effective through my lat or keep my core tight or whatever else. It's essentially the micro model of what we teach for habits. I can't give you a whole bunch of habits that are going to disrupt your life and stack them on top of one another. We need to build one habit, get it consistent, layer on another habit. Make that consistent, layer on another habit. Just think about it like that, and you're going to be absolutely fine.
Okay, let me ask you something, because I got an email, like it must have been an automated email, comes like 4 weeks after you start the program. And it asked me if I was taking 50,000 steps a week. And it asked me a couple other things. And then there was something about, did I connect my fitness app or
Yeah.
Fitbit or things like that. So
That's like a check-in survey basically, because you got sick and stuff like that, so you're a little bit behind in terms of the on-ramping.
yeah.
But that's basically kind of saying like where you are. So like once you get rolling and doing the regular 4 times a week workout, then we focus on some nutrition stuff, and we focus on the other habit for us is essentially boosting activity, which is steps. So it would be a good idea if you have a tracking mechanism to have an average of your weekly step count.
Okay. I have an Apple Watch. I don't have a Fitbit and I don't do my Fitness Pal, but I have an Apple Watch that I never wear, but I can dust
Why
off.
don't you start wearing it? Because we need some kind of baseline information in regards to how much activity are you getting out of exercise. Remember, exercise is like at the most maybe 20% of how you get yourself stronger and actually change your body and this whole burning calories and everything. You get like 60% of your daily caloric burn from the functions of your body: breathing, pumping blood, brain function. That's how you burn most of your energy. Then you have exercise, which is a very small part. And then you have basically just you moving, going to the grocery store, cleaning the house, walking around the neighborhood with the dogs, shoveling snow. Non-exercise based activity, that's another big portion where most people think, well, if I just work out hard, I'm going to be able to change my body. No, actually, you got to make sure that you're kind of checking a whole bunch of different boxes, which is like sleep, getting some extra activity in, and then of course food. If you're thinking about, okay, I want to start thinking about body composition, we have to have a baseline of information too. So we have to start not guessing how many calories you're consuming a day versus like, okay, let's get an understanding roughly of how much protein you're eating, which is the major thing that we focus on initially. So like I just said, if I'm like, I want you to check every single thing that you put into your mouth, like, okay, well, I've never done that before. That could be a little challenging. Okay, cool. Why don't we just focus on tracking your protein? Because that can give us a good amount of information of how many calories you're eating. And then when you get good at that, we add another layer. So that stuff is basically for tracking mechanisms so that we have a baseline information so that we can make adjustments. And once again, those adjustments are not going to be, oh, you're only getting 5,000 steps a day. So now you need to get an extra 5,000 steps every single day. Like that's going to be challenging. But how about if I told you can get 5,000 a week, which is 1,000 extra a day, which is a little bit more manageable, right?
Yeah.
That's what we want those little metrics for so that we can gauge some kind of progress. Like with the training, I can judge by your level of technique. What skill are you doing and what weights are you using? That's how I know for the fitness portion. All those other parts, I don't know because I don't live with you and I don't see what you do every single day. So we had to have some information on that. So I'd start wearing your Apple Watch because I bet you surprise yourself about, you're like, man, I actually probably don't move that day. You know, the general rule is about 75 to 10,000 steps. That's like the general rule that most people try to strive for. How about if you find out you're only getting like 3,500 steps a day? You'd be like, geez, I'm not moving. Right? So we need some information on that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm moving very much. It's sedentary
Neither am I.
around here. And it's freaking cold.
Yeah, I know. One of the major reasons I moved to Florida was to stay warm, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I
But,
don't blame you.
You know, I was an in-person trainer for 13 years. I was on my feet all day, and I had a dog that used to love long walks. I'm not an in-person trainer anymore. My dog unfortunately passed away last year. So like I am at the least amount of active as I've been. My food hasn't changed, my workouts haven't changed, but I've gained weight because I'm just not active.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like think about it like that. We're really trying to figure out, okay, where can we make these small improvements? You already got the consistency of working out, and then we add those other habits and nutrition portion, and then by the 16 weeks, you've got a whole bunch of really healthy habits. You learn how to keep track of your food. You're working out consistently 4 times a week. What else can we do?
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good, Sam.
I will have a wonderful day. Have a nice rest on your new bed, and I'll see you next time.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.